be scared? Do you be scared of your own body? Each breath a new crime, and everyone in the room is dancing, even the ghost of those who couldn't make it to the party. I'm not gonna do a history lesson. I just wanna know, who knows who Elijah McClain was? Okay, Elijah McClain, I'll just do it real quick. In 2020, he was a young black man on the spectrum who was just walking home and confused, and cops used disabling techniques, including chemicals, and they killed him. And he was a violin player, and he was just a scrawny little nice kid or whatever. So that was in the summer of 2020. So this is at the Violin Memorial for Elijah McClain, fall 2020. It's dusk now. The way that summer days die. A violent beauty of light gasping. And the violins and the gazebo are memories of a young man we never met. And these memories float up into the dying, violent beauty of gasping light, and the music is peaceful. The way gasping light always is. When a pedal bus rounds a corner across the park, and the young, mostly white women scream in drunken joy notes, and the violence crescendos, and the light loses the battle, and the peaceful music gives up, and we all go home, and I go home, and I keep going home, and the violence never does. Actually, this is brand new. I wrote this last night. I lost 2 little brothers last month. I lost one, and then 9 days later, I lost another one. So the second one was my best friend. His nickname was Pinky. As my little brother Andy gets to heaven, all the clouds blush bright pink, and the gates open up like the back door of the trap house, letting him slip in real quiet, the way he likes to. And the angels all line up for business. Every holy being suddenly needs something from him now. But he has them wait for a while. Tells them he'll be downstairs in a minute. He has that kind of time now. And all the souls of men and women who he comforted down here as they won the race of this unwinnable war hug him and thank him and tell him, watch. And one by one, they dive down to the lower heavens, become guiding beams for anyone down here still lost, and he chuckles and thanks them too for doing what he always dreamed of, shining light in the only places it's really needed. And then he lays down in a bed made of his own prayers. Prayers for peace and rest that made their way ahead up here for just this moment. And it's every bit of calm he ever wanted. Every bit of serenity held from him on layaway. But he only lays there for a few eons. Lets creation start all over again as he cracks his tatted knuckles, opens up the broken tiny window peeping blinds, yells down to the brick layers of the newest universe, "There's no cops this time, right?" And the newest Big Bang replies, "Not this time, Pinky." And my brother's smile opens up an event horizon, draining all the power from the neighborhood, making the streetlights flickering over the stone roads a golden strobe time lapse of every star to ever blink in and out in an instant. A party trick so cool, even the heaviest hanging heads on earth lighten up a hell or two. See visions of themselves dancing with their whole unbroken bodies, their own joy so deep they can hold the stones of their daily lives in their burdened arms and dive in, nose first, breathe like the day they were born, the downtrodden transmogrified into free flow delight, where the deeper they sink, the less gravity has anything to say to them. This flashing existence in Andy's toothless grin has erased the concept of weight and heft from all their past, for long enough that each of the regrets are now all soft, hazy mornings in memory, reaching for socks and coats to get out the door to the hope shift they're never late to. And all of a sudden, Andy frowns, remembers the damn angels waiting downstairs to get served, then smirks, lays back down, says, "Who else are they going to call?" Two more. This is a visual one. So, to be chronically ill, a Venn diagram of here, there, and everywhere. It's here, there, everywhere. To be chronically ill, to be sickened, to be suppressed, to be compromised, to be loud, to be used to immunity, to advocate, to be dismissed, to be inspected, to read the bad news, to have your humanity inspected, to be the bad news, to be scared of your own body, to expect relief, to want relief, to beg the sky for no more, to be in a hospital, to be scared in a hospital, to have invasive procedures, to be terrified of hospitals, to know what invasion means, to have your power taken, to lose power over myself, to watch someone die when the power is taken, to be occupied, to occupy a bed, to be an uncomfortable topic, to feel insignificant, to have an invisible war, to having comfort ripped open like a surprise gift, to want comfort back, to lose patience, to have invisible symptoms, to have your walls ripped open like a surprise gift, to lose walls, to be visible, to seek shelter, to be treated like a symptom of war, to see comfort as insignificant, to seek answers, to be lumped in with, to being treated like my experiences are invalid, to be lumped in with, to watch your neighbors be lumped in like their lives were invalid, to be questioned, to be in pain, to be held, to be treated, to be weakened, to be wary, to be the focus, to not have an option, to be in pain, to be dismissed, to be invisible, to be a game of numbers, to be stricken with fear, to be reassured, to wait, to be in pain, to wait to make it to the end of the day, to wait to be in pain, to be in a bed, to wait to be in a bed, to wait to be in a bed, to wait to be in pain, to wait to be in a bed, to be discharged, to wait for the bomb made of safety to finally drop, to be charged for not dying, to feel like you're supposed to be quiet, to listen to the experts, to be loud anyway, to wait until experts reach an agreement, to hold on, to be sick of hospital beds, to be questioned while chained to the hospital bed, to be held as a child, to be held by experts, to be told your death is the agreement, to be held hostage by my own body, to trust the experts with my well-being, to laugh at the phrase well-being, to care like a remedy, to want a remedy, to take cover from all the remedies, to be a statistic, to being reduced to a headline. To have your city reduced to headlines overnight, to have each breath a new crime, to accept death as neighbor, to cherish silence, to look up at a doctor, to love them for trying, to see moments of your fear reflected, to know your chances to make it are the same, to raise up, to thank them anyway, to have time to breathe, to know the night has not selected me as a target, to accept help, to be grateful, to be scared, to finding relief, to have pain lower its voice, to raise the voice of others' pain, to not need reflection, to hear others' pain, to see how silence is an explosive, to see the shrapnel tear through all of us, to feel powerless, to know powerlessness, to believe that hope belongs, to hold hope like an injured thing, to hold hope to roam free, to make sure hope roams free, to be loud, to advocate, to share healing, to do more than wait, to survive. Oh, thank you, everybody. I got one more left. Thank you, everybody, for being patient and not booing me. You could have booed. You could have. Always a choice. Always a choice. They don't ban vegetables at readings. I'm just saying. This is making fun of poets. ARS Poetica. This is, they show up to ask. They show up to ask, what's the largest thing you can describe with one word? I said, silence. They said, no, like the largest physical object. And so I said, joy. And they said, no, like the largest physical object you can see and touch. And I said, reality. And they said, no, I'm trying to play a game. I'm trying to get you to answer my question so I can correct you and then offer my own insightful answers. And I said, duplicity. And they said, no, I'm being sincere. It's just a useful format for setting up a forced dynamic, and I desperately want to share my observations with you. And I said, pedantic. And they said, no, 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 no. It's because I feel like my words could improve your life in some minute or incidental way. And it's only because I love you that I'm trying to tangle you up in a rhetorical web. And I said, Savior? And they said, no, 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 no. However many similarities we share in our life, we are all going to have vastly different perspectives and experiences and randomly firing synapses that allow us to come to different kinds of wisdom and understandings of the world. And the more we share them, the more we allow ourselves to be lenses for other people, and the more tools each of us have to work with in order to thrive and find comfort. And so I said, listening? And they said, no, 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 no. I don't want you to just listen to me. I want us to share in an exchange of knowledge, for there to be an active relationship in this discourse, for us both to exit this vehicle of language having grown more full of life and awareness, for each of us to swim to the shores of each other, to see the way the noon sun enters each grain of sand like a church window, to bury our feet in the cool of the other's wet earth, recreating the moment before we leave our mothers as though they were clouds and we were rain. Then we stand to face the terrain, the cold waves of distance and isolation to our backs, and climb the rocky outcroppings of our memories, hugging the rough parts of our worlds for balance while grasping for childhood handholds to hoist our hearts above the cliffs once more. And so I said, life. And they said, no, 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 no. I don't want this to be incidental. I want us to both intentionally seek the space behind the other's horizon lines. I want to look down at my hands and see the deeds of your father written in the calluses. I want their words to form revolutionary fiction we could all deep sigh along with afterwards, but know way it will always remain fiction. And reread it anyway. Like if you were tricked into another universe for long enough, one less queer youth will die, and reread into a distant ringing in the hallways behind your eyelids beckons. And I want to follow that bell's call to a room full of nurses and loved ones. And I want that bell to be ringing with the tenor of all living cells, of all living things on earth not touched by cancer. A hymnal of survival so beautiful, even the sunsets of our worst days hum along. And I want that music to vibrate until the heat death of the universe decides it is no match for the hope of a praying child, sends the thank you card the size of one more year. And everyone in the room is dancing, even the ghost of those who couldn't make it to the party. And all of this sacred motion tells the entire history of survival. A list so dense, every fired bullet running out of the hand of justice falls to the ground. A rainstorm of a country's governing papers and the key of empty minds. And the sound of all that copper hitting the ground simultaneously thunders below all of the feet within a lifetime's line of sight. And all of our bodies join it. Wind chiming the bones of our hopes so loud, death misses all his exits. And so I said, poetry. And they said, no, 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 no. Wait, did you say poetry? And I said,